Well, it's Wednesday the 7th of March and it's 2012, and I've woken up today with the news of more soldiers being killed. 6 British soldiers in Afghanistan. When is it going to end? You know, it's all the time on the news, you know, another soldier being killed, and what for though? It's not sending British soldiers to Iraq or Afghanistan. What has it solved? You know, we keep told, you know, in the news, in the mainstream media, we're told that our boys go in there to defend this country. Hang on a minute. Defence is one thing. It's you know, if you're going to defend this country from someone attacking us, but going over to Iraq, who had nothing to do with anything. Saddam Hussein, yeah, he was a bad guy, but don't forget, the British government supplied weapons to Saddam Hussein back in the 1980s. The British government was friends with Saddam Hussein and Iraq in the 1980s, and that is no conspiracy theory. If you look at your history, you'll find that that's true. Afghanistan, what the hell are they doing there? They've been there for 11 years now. For what? What has it solved? Has it made the world safer? Is the world safer because 500,000 Iraqis were killed? Most of them innocent people, children, men, women. Yeah. Has that made the United Kingdom safer? Has it made America safer? No, I don't think so. I think if you're watching this now and it was your family that were blown up, if you were having to bury one of your children that was killed by some invading force, would you know, how would you feel? Would it make you, would it make you want revenge on someone else? That's how some of these people are going to feel about the Western government. So by invading Iraq, it hasn't made the world safer, has it? It's made the world, it's made the Western countries more liable to be attacked, I think. Even, that's just me sitting here on the couch, you know, but even people that are in the military, even colonels, you know, or generals, or whatever, are admitting that it's been a disaster. Why don't they, you know? And as for Afghanistan, you know, what has it solved? Can anyone tell me what it solved? It hasn't solved anything. It hasn't. Fighting Adolf Hitler was one thing in World War II, but you know, war in general is just insane, isn't it? When is it going to end? Every day you turn the news on, and it's the same thing, isn't it? I mean, look, I've got the TV on now, and I'll show you. You know, and it's every day, isn't it? And it's a couple of soldiers have been killed and that, but the mainstream media quite often don't give any coverage to the thousands of people that have been killed, the innocent people in Iraq and Afghanistan. They get, you know, they get five seconds on the news, but when it's British soldiers, you know, obviously it gets a lot more coverage. But I think the mainstream media just sort of don't cover wars very well. You know, they get a lot of ex-military people on, and current military generals. But where are the voices that disagree with the war? You know, how much sort of airtime do they get? Not a lot. It was interesting recently on Sky News. You know, Michael Jackson's doctor, he was on trial, and it was getting 4 hours a day on Sky News, 4 hours a day, and then you think, and you know, sometimes a war will get 5 minutes. You know, what's more important to Michael Jackson's doctor, or the state of what is going on in the world, and the public being educated on wars and stuff, you know. Yeah. But wars themselves, you know, when are they going to end? Aren't we supposed to learn from the past? Aren't you supposed to learn from history? Every November we have what is it, on the 11th of November we remember those who have fallen, the glorious dead, as they like to say, the glorious dead. We remember the past wars and stuff, and which is fine. You know, we've all had people in our families that are in the military. You know, my dad was in the army, and I've got cousins in the army, and you know, we've all had people. And I had a granddad in one of the world wars. But the thing is, you have to learn from the past, don't you? You have to learn. You know, I think it was 160 million people that were killed between the years 1900 and the year 2000. So you had the First World War, which was supposed to be the war to end all wars, but of course it didn't. And then the Second World War, Adolf Hitler and fascism and that. You know, obviously I understand that Adolf Hitler had to be stopped, but what's quite interesting when you look at it is if the German people had sort of not kind of followed the propaganda of the Nazi Party and rebelled, how effective would Adolf Hitler have been? You know, he's you know, him. I mean, it's not just Adolf Hitler, is it? It's all the people that were with him, or in his circle, and many people. You know, but how effective would he have been? If you know, there's that quote, isn't there, about civil obedience. You know, that's the problem, isn't it? People are too obedient to their leaders, to institutions. You know, and they defend those people that are really their oppressors. You know, and obviously Adolf Hitler was, as history's shown, was a maniac, and I understand that he had to be stopped. But as for going back to what I was saying about Afghanistan, what are they there for? What are they there for? What are they in Iraq for? I mean, I know what they tell us, I know what the officials tell us, but come on, it's all lies, isn't it? You know. And I bought a good book recently, which I've not read fully. I've read. I was searching because I'm interested in war. Well, learning more about wars and anti-war. You know, obviously, I don't know who could be for wars, but you know, if you've got a brain and you actually think, you know, wars are just insane. Really, however you dress them up, they're insane. It's one bunch of people going over to another country to kill them, you know, which is for what? You know, you're trying to kill them, they're trying to kill you because your government has fallen out with their government or something, you know, it's just, but, so I was doing a search on Amazon, and I came across this book called War is a Lie, which is pretty good. Sound like I'm doing an advert for it now, but I'm not. But I've read some of it. Sometimes I lack concentration to read, so I've not read it all, but I've read some of the chapters, and it's a fantastic book. You know, if War is a Lie by David Swanson, if anyone's interested, give it a read. Pretty good. But yeah, so it's all in the news now about what's going on in Afghanistan. Let's put the volume on. Let's have a look.
Reaction from a former commander of British forces in Afghanistan.
Clearly it was a very significant explosion which managed to, as we understand it, which killed 6 soldiers in a Warrior armoured vehicle, which is a very heavily protected vehicle designed to withstand blast from some of the most powerful anti-tank weapons, as well as such things as improvised explosive devices. So a very, very big blow, yes.
The Prime Minister had this to say to mark the sad milestone of more than 400 British troops now killed while serving in this war.
Well, this is a desperately sad day for our country, and desperately sad, of course, for the families concerned. It is a reminder of the huge price that we're paying for the work we're doing in Afghanistan, the sacrifice that our troops have made and continue to make.
The Labour Party...
Of course, David Cameron's right. It is a sad day. I mean, you know, all these troops, they've got families and that, and loved ones and stuff, and it's a shame. You know, but the truth is, and this is the truth, that they are dying for nothing. I mean, that might be hard to psychologically accept. If you're the mother or father of one of these people that have died, you've got to kind of believe that they've died for something. You've got to cope, because if you psychologically thought, you know, well, if you accepted the reality that they're dying for nothing, I mean, I think there are reasons that the troops have gone to Iraq and Afghanistan, but it's nothing to do with freedom or liberation. It's more to do with resources of the region, politics, really. You know, they're in Afghanistan not to bring freedom to the women, not to fight some evil men in caves or the Taliban. There's more to it, and it's politics, it's resources, it's strategy, really, you know. But yeah. So when's it going to end, eh? When's it going to end? Is it going to be more and more wars, and every year on November remembering more troops that have fallen, more parades, waving flags, and building more monuments to the glorious dead, you know, and stupidity, really, you know. I mean, we put our trust, some of us, in so-called educated men who are in positions of power, and I don't trust them, you know. I'm not saying they all have bad intentions, but there's more to wars than meets the eye, as a lot of people are realising now. But yeah, just what I'd say to people, if you've got questions and that, just keep asking more questions, keep searching, keep looking for answers, and don't support wars, you know.